Hello and welcome to the latest episode of Beyond the Reels, a series where we look at the creation and reasoning behind the latest slot titles. I'm your host, George Priestman, multimedia journalist at SBC, and today I'm with Yaroslav Soloshenko, business development team lead from ELA Games, to go over not one, not two, but three new slot titles from the company. Firstly, hello Yaroslav, thank you for joining us today. How are you?
Hello, George. It's a big pleasure for me to be here. Thank you for inviting me. Doing very well. I hope you as well.
The pleasure's all mine. Very excited to jump into these three titles that we are going to look at today with Wealth of Legends, Flame Fruit's Frenzy, and Rabbit Winpot Deluxe. A variety of titles, and there is a lot to delve into. But before we focus specifically on the games themselves, with three new game releases on the horizon, what makes these three titles an exciting addition to your portfolio?
First thing first, I would love to emphasize that these games are designed to laser focus on different player cohorts with different preferences, geo, etc. Right? So since ELA Games is present on different markets from North America to Europe, our strategy is a content adjustment. Right? So with that, we can meet and fulfill our beloved player needs. Of course, nowadays industry become extremely competitive among the game providers, and having portfolio differentiation makes us more attractive to operators, and of course to players. Right? It makes us memorable and noticeable.
Moving on to the titles themselves, can you just explain Wealth of Legends in a sort of brief summary for us?
Sure. Wealth of Legends. With Wealth of Legends, we dive into the mythology thematics. It's a low volatile 5x5 slot with hold and spin element in the basic game and the bonus game, of course. The maximum multiplier we can catch here is 3000x. This is like very brief introduction for the game.
Yeah, moving more deeper into it now, obviously a Greek mythology-inspired game. It features a bonus you can buy, multipliers, and a central hub that gives you sort of a goal to reach. How do all these features add value for the customers?
It's a great question, by the way. I would start with thematics, right? So Greek mythology is, of course, a very well-known theme, which gives you additional credit from your players. Because players used to play a lot of different games on that thematics, and they, let's say, trust it more. But just having only thematics is not the key, right? Because again, let's come back to what I said on the really beginning. It's a very competitive industry. A lot of game providers try to approach same thematics, so you have to be somehow recognizable among the players. We started to think how we can make the game actually interesting for the players. We started to analyze data. By the way, at ELA Games, we actually take only data-driven decisions. So it was, of course, in a positive meaning of that word, a fight between business development and the product team. But at the end of the day, we come up to the solution that we decided to put the holding spin element in the basic game, just in order to make the basic game exciting for the players. And of course, we decided to support high roller players with the bonus buy feature, because such segment of the player, they don't really like to spend a lot of time in a basic game. They just want to go straight forward to the sweetest part of the game. Keeping the balance between exciting basic game and, of course, having a bonus buy added a great value to the game, because we covered both segments of the players with such decisions.
Yeah, I mean, the central section that has those 9 spaces that for collecting gold coins, how does that work for players? Because I was playing that on the simulator, and it is a very exciting feature.
When it comes to basic game and these 9 sections, this is a purely hold and win mechanic, where the idea is to catch 9 coins to fill that space with the coins. If we catch 1 coin, we have 3 spins to catch 1 more coin, and again, the idea here is to fill all the area. right after we filled all the area, all the multipliers will be accumulated with each other and multiply to your initial bet. So yeah, this is like a very well-known hold and win mechanic.
I see. Very well explained. That is Wealth of Legends done and dusted. We'll move on to the second one, which is Flame Fruits Frenzy. I had to say that very slowly. It's a little bit of a tongue twister. But could you
You
just...
know what? Sorry for interrupting you. You can call this game Triple F because internally we call this game Triple F.
Triple F sounds pretty cool as well. I'm not going to lie. Yeah, I do have some obviously questions about the gameplay, but again, could you just give us a brief explanation of Triple F, please?
So basically, this is classic fruit slots, right? And I would say that, to my humble opinion, classic fruit slots will never disappear from the market. They still there. They still perform the best. So ELA Games decided not to stay apart, of course, and we decided to bring our vision on the classic fruit games on the market. Of course, at ELA Games, we focus not only to bring something that already exists, right? So we want to bring something that people know, but also with our added value, right? So Triple F or Flame Fruit Frenzy, this is a classic fruit slot with a gamble feature inside. About the gamble feature, I guess we will discuss a little bit further, but this is a brief explanation.
Yeah, I mean, that extra layer for players to connect with, giving that sort of roulette feel, red or black, it borrows from, other gambling games that we know. Is that something you could expand on in the future?
So when it comes to such mini games like gamble, when you have to pick the card, or other type of let's say classic games from land-based casino like roulette or etc. This is something that we definitely look on it, because when it comes to ELA Games specifically, we do put a lot of attention on data-driven decisions, as I said, right? So from our data, we see that such games, such mini games, like gamble feature, resonate with players a lot, and we definitely will nurture this type of mini games. Perhaps we will go with Wheel of Fortune, maybe also with roulette in the future, but definitely we will go there 100%.
Yeah, that seems like the next logical step there. Could you just explain why you added that sort of extra layer? You said, you wanted to bring a new vision to an old classic. Just could you expand on that?
Of course. So again, everything sticks to the competition, right? If you want to be recognizable among thousands and hundreds of the classic fruit games for the player, because every day each game provider release classic fruit game. So the main purpose of this additional layer is to be a little bit different among our competitors, right? And adding such feature, again, the very important here is that feature shouldn't be overcomplicated for the player, because we have to keep in mind that players who plays such classic fruit games, they're very, let's say, old school ones, right? So they came from land-based mostly, and they stick to the very simple games. So basically, the idea here is to make the game still simple and easy to understand, this mini game behind it as well. So this is the main idea of that additional layer.
So imagine I'm someone about to play the game. What should I really be aiming for, and what are the key symbols should I be looking for in this particular game?
So again, here we decided to keep the traditions, and the most expensive symbol remains the same. This is sevens, right? So if we will catch all the sevens on all reels, we will take the main prize. But also, if you catch, for example, scatter symbol with a combination with symbols like watermelon, grapes, etc., it might also be very strict in terms of your total multiplier. And the maximum multiplier that we can have in this game is x3000 as well. So the game actually can pay you decent amount.
Well, that's the second one out of the 3 games done. We'll move on to Rabbit Winpot Deluxe. Again, could you just give us a quick brief overview before we dive into the finer details?
Yeah, sure. So Rabbit Winpot Deluxe, this is a complete different game from what usually game providers release on the market. So first of all, this is the approach, right? So the Winpot mechanic that we use in our games is a sort of symbiosis between a slot game and instant win game. And with such games, we first of all targeting Gen Z generation, right? The players from that generation, they prefer fast games. Also, it shouldn't be overcomplicated, but let's say from different angle. So in Rabbit Winpot Deluxe, the idea is to collect as much symbols as it's possible. Each symbol has its own value. We do have 5 symbols, 3 basic symbols, 1 wild, and 1 reset symbol. So with 3 basic symbols, we do have specific towers. And the idea, as I said, is to collect as much symbols as it's possible in order to collect the multiplier that will be multiply your initial bet, and you will have this money in your win pot. And after that, player can actually decide whether to withdraw the money to the wallet or to have a risk and go further in order to have higher multiplier, right? So the main idea of this game is to build the strategy and give as much control as it possible to the player. So yeah.
I mean, you touched on some of the things I'm just going to ask in a second, but I just want to take it to the design, I guess, the circus theme and why that art style was chosen.
So the circus theme, this is not our first attempt. We previously had a pretty decent success with the Metro Circus game, which is actually also resonates very well with our players. And we decided to move forward with the circus thematic because we see the data that players resonate with such thematics, and we decided to bring a new vision on circus thematic with the Rabbit Winpot Deluxe.
And just moving on to, you did explain the key symbols. Can you just do a very quick, just do it again, please, because they're very important, obviously, in this game.
Of course. So basically, as I said, we do have 5 types of symbols, which are 3 basic, 1 wild, and 1 reset symbol. When it comes to basic symbols, we do have a cannon, we do have a hat, and we do have a target with a knife. Each of these symbols have its own value in terms of multiplier. The most cheapest one is the knife with the target. The mid one is the cannon, and the most expensive one is the hat. Each round, we have the opportunity to catch 3 symbols to fill the tower. In case we catch the wild symbol, for example, wild symbol gives all symbols for once, meaning 1 knife with a target, 1 cannon, and 1 hat. And of course, we do have a reset symbol. So the main purpose of reset symbol is to eat all your cash pot or in terms of multipliers. So I would highly recommend for our players to avoid such symbol, but of course this is the part of the game. This is actually what makes this game exciting and entertaining. So yeah.
And just on to the big question really for this particular game. The idea of the collection pot really places the onus on the player to choose when and if to risk or collect. That really puts them in the driving seat in terms of, engagement. Was that the idea behind it?
This is actually excellent question, and of course, yes. Coming back to the beginning again, this is everything about the competition, right? So we have to be competitive, we have to be recognizable, as I said, and with such games, when we give the player, let's say, as much control as it's possible in order to create the strategies behind the game, how to play this round or the next one, it gives that feeling to the player that they can, let's say, build specific strategies around different rounds. This is a very key because what is more important for Gen Z generation specifically, they want to have such games because they rely more, let's say, more on skill based, right? So we bring that feeling to them, and with such mechanics like Winpot, we want to let's say, highlight ELA Games on the market as a unique sales point, right? So it gives us additional advantage in front of operators, because for operators it's also a problem when they have a lot of game providers that give them the same content. They want to have also some differences, right? And again, in front of the players. Players, they also become more and more sophisticated. They always want to see new game mechanics, and it's not so easy, right? Because the mechanics should be exciting enough and not overcomplicated. So with the Winpot, to my opinion, we actually cover all these challenges for game provider nowadays.
Yeah, obviously it's a fine line to get that balance, but with these 3 games, you've definitely covered the idea of new and engagement. So congratulations on that. I have one final question written down, but one thing you've mentioned multiple times is the data-driven aspect. I just wanted, if you could just expand on that before I come on to my final question, because data drives everything these days. How key is it with to stay ahead of competition or just be competitive?
I would say everything that you mentioned, right? So because data never lies. This is the main statement. And when it comes to ELA Games, right? So we do have a lot of, let's say, conversations between different departments, because my gut feeling tells me that that specific game thematics won't work, but the data tells completely different, right? So we rely on data in that, because my gut feeling is only my gut feeling, right? So basically, the data that we have from different operators allows us to analyze the mechanics, the thematics, the geo that play, which geo prefers such thematics or mechanic, and build the games based on only on that. No more again, and no more room, I guess, in the industry right now for the gut feeling, because as I said, the competition is on a very, very high level at this moment.
That is very true. Just on to the last question. How do these games add to your mission of building a diverse portfolio for customers?
These games are, as I said, these games are developed for different cohorts of players, right? So my humble opinion, that I will never deny, that what makes game provider competitive on the market nowadays is the differentiate of portfolio. In case you have different games for different markets and player segments, will give you an advantage in front of other game providers, even if you compete against operator, because operator at the end of the day, they decide to launch your games or not. And based on my experience, they seek for the new approach, for the new games. They don't want to have like copies or stuff like that. So basically, if you provide them different solutions for different markets, it will definitely catch their eye. And when it comes to players, I guess this is a common truth that you have to look on different markets in order to be able to compete worldwide.
Yaroslav, thank you so much for your time. That was a really interesting breakdown of those 3 games from ELA Games. That's all from Beyond the Reels this time, and we'll catch you in the next episode.